CLB.
What up, world? It's Charles Brown back again with another Talking Facts. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell to get notified on all the upcoming episodes. All right, man, your boy Joe Rogan has once again become the center of attention on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, in the media, period. After India Ari posted a video of him saying the N-word at least 24 to 27 different times on several different occasions, and he was forced to apologize, right? And the apology was somewhat heartfelt. I believe that he started it out to say what was at the heart of the apology, even though he kept apologizing, was that you guys say it and we don't get to say it, right? I believe that if you really read between the lines, and I'm not saying that he doesn't mean it or whatever, I don't know. But what I do know is the apology, if you're paying attention, he stands by some of the things he said in the initial rants. The initial rants, some of them were based upon how we can say the word, how the word is so charging and so triggering, but other slurs are not, right? And that we have this magic word that we can say that for some reason they aren't allowed for some reason to say it. And it's been an argument for as long as I can remember that black people can say the word, but white people cannot say the N-word, right? And even as a young person, I started to feed into like, well, if we say it, we can expect other people to say it. And yeah, we can expect other people to say it, right? And other people do say it. You 9 times out of 10, you run up on a group of white kids right now, they're saying it to each other, which is ironic because the word was meant to hurt and slander and be very demeaning while they were keeping us in our place, whether we were slaves or not slaves, whatever the time period it was, they were using that word and still do use that word to demean you. But some of our people have taken the word and used it as a term of endearment. Now, we're kind of crazy for doing that, right? A lot of us get caught up and we say it all the time because that's what we're raised to saying. But we're kind of crazy to take a word that's so demeaning and flipping it into something. I don't even know if it's positive. In a lot of ways, well, it can mean anything. Like we use it so, it has so many variations. It's all about intent and it's all about inflection of how you use it, right? Like I say all the time, almost any word can be, the inflection of any word can be flipped and made into derogatory or obnoxious or offensive, right? If I'm calling you friend, right? Friend. The word friend, we would say you can't make the word friend offensive, right? But if you go into a store and you want to buy something for $3 and you hand me $1.50 and I'm thinking that and you're thinking that it's paid for and I'm like, friend, do you understand how much money you just gave me, friend? And after a while, that friend is going to start to sound condescending, right? You can use the word friend to a degree that that person will want to fight you. So it's not just about the N-word of how the word itself is incendiary. It's the fact of how it's used, right? So Joe Rogan went on to say that we, as black people, we get to use this word, and he never really understood why we can say it. And our best response is just because. Meanwhile, we got some of the hottest records in the world, in the world, has the N-word all up and through it. So when people try to go and dance to it on TikTok or whatever, they got to like omit the word and this and that, which is, how do we expect people not to say these words when we're saying them all day, right? End of the day, some things just are what they are. If you step on ice that's not all the way frozen, you probably fall through. It's no why. It's not all the way, it is what it is. So the N-word is just one of them words. And the simple fact that we can take a triggering word and make it not so ominous to us, and we can use it amongst each other, right? He made the case that, some of the words that people still use to this day are not as incendiary. And he started going on all these different verbally abusive racial slurs, right? And every single one of the racial slurs, maybe one or two, are used amongst those people. And if you follow that culture, only certain people use them amongst themselves, right? Like Asians have slurs, Indians have slurs, and not Indian people, Middle Eastern people have slurs, Spanish people have slurs. But he's like, none of them are as bad as the N-word. Yeah, you're right, because they don't have the same stigma. Because a lot of times when you guys were throwing them out, you were ready to kill us when you said those words. And a lot of times you did kill us. And you were saying those words while you killed us. And a lot of times you were saying those words to keep us in our place. And you were saying those words to demean us and to make us feel less than you. So it's very incendiary when we could hear that word and everyone would just freeze up and get afraid, because that means we're in the presence of people who may kill us. So it's a different animal than calling someone one of these lesser known made up words that just something that you've made up over time, but it doesn't have the same meaning as you're calling somebody the N-word, that you can literally set that man on fire or cut his balls off or put him, in a tree with a rope, and no one would do anything about it. So it is different. So yes, when you say it, you don't have the intention. When you're asking why you can't say it, that's the exact reason why you shouldn't say it. Because if it's a word that you don't really want to normally use, it's not in your vocabulary, right? You don't say it for a reason. So why ask the question, well, why can't we say the N-word? If you want to say it, you can say whatever you want. But no one tells you can't say it. You don't say it because you don't want to be taken as a racist, or you don't want to be taken off the air for being a racist. But no one says you can't say the word, right? You can say whatever you want. But it's going to be consequence. Somebody might come up and duff on you, or somebody might come up and record you and put you on the internet, and then the internet is going to do what the internet does, and you'll be out of a job. So it's consequences. You can say whatever you want. No one's telling you can't do anything, right? Just like Delroy Lindo, he said on that clip, when that reporter, or for whatever word you want to call it, but the commentator was asking him why can black people say the N-word but white people can't? He told him, say it. Go look it up. Go YouTube it. Delroy Lindo, N-word. He said, say it. He said, I'll say it with you. Of course you can say it. Say whatever you want. So the simple fact that Joe Rogan is raising the questions, trying to make it, that wasn't all. He was saying it was out of context. He was saying that the entire clip, which he again apologized. And if you listen to him apologizing, all right, I'm not going to take away from the apology, but I am going to take away from it because the simple fact, as he's apologizing, he's explaining that it was taken out of context, right? And I get it. That's necessary to basically explain what the clip entails, right? He's saying it was taken out of context over many years. Doesn't excuse me from saying it. So then why are you saying it? So the simple fact is he wants you to know that I'm not a racist because these things were taken out of context. But some of the things he addressed everything. He addressed the Planet of the Apes comment, which, in my opinion, even if you wanted to say, this man isn't racist, this and that, he may have bad taste in jokes. And he said he didn't mean to say, with the Planet of the Apes jokes, he was saying he went to a black-owned movie theater. And, well, I don't know if it was black-owned, but I know it was in a black area of the city. And he went there to watch a movie. Maybe it was Planet of the Apes, I don't know. But he said when we got there and got out the car, he was like, oh boy, we are really in the Planet of the Apes. And he goes on to say in an apology that he didn't mean it, that he was talking about black people. He said, I meant to say, oh, it's a lot of black people. That's exactly what you meant to say, right? He tried to clean it up in hindsight, but then you go on to say that I just meant that it was a lot of black people. So then you were calling them apes. He said, I would never call black people apes. I just meant that we were in a room with a lot of black people. Then you just literally called them apes. There's no two ways about it, right? If I get out my car and I be like, oh snap, we're in the present, we just hit the Cracker Barrel, right? What am I doing? What am I calling them? I can't say, well, I'm not referring to white people as that. No, that's exactly what it is. So if you're saying, well, we're in the planet of apes, it's a few things that you can't call. I bet you black people get more offended that you call them apes than niggers. It is what it is, right? So if we're going to be honest, right, I want to say, I think Joe Rogan is a typical frat boy who grew up detached from racial empathy and detached from even having to worry about it. And he drew his own conclusions from his own bubble. So he pulled in everything that was out there, and some of the stuff, he couldn't make no sense of it, so it became funny to him. And then people like him. And he didn't have any reason to care about it. So making light of it meant nothing, because it didn't affect him in any way. It didn't touch him in any way. And therefore, he came up with this sense of, I take it lightly, so everyone else should take it lightly. He can't understand why the word is demeaning and cruel and why we only get to say it. When someone says, well, why do you guys get to say it? Right there, they're already telling you everything. They're already telling you everything that you need to know. When they're asking you, why can only black people say it and not white people? Then they're telling you everything. Why do you want to say it is what the real question is, right? Why do you need to say, why do you feel the need to, that you need to be entitled to say it? Let's start there. And second of all, we got the right to reverse that pain. We're the only reason, and it's not a great thing to call it. It's not, we don't say that it's good, right? You got no one going around saying, calling each other the N-word is great, right? There's no one going around saying that, right? It's not a good thing, but it's something we are raised doing, and it's not good. A lot of our elders were saying it, and they put it in us to say it. From the time we're born. They're saying it around, they're saying it to us from the time we're born. Now, a lot of that, if you want to get deeper into it, a lot of that is self-hatred. When you get deep into why people are calling each other the N-word, because let's go back. If the masses calling you N-words all day, and when he put one or two of you in charge, guess what? You got to call them N-word. You got to call them N-words too. So when you're in charge and you're screaming at them to do more, you're calling them N-words. So all day you're hearing N-words. So when you get in the presence of your own people, you start saying it to each other. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Some of them saying it as a joke. Some of them are saying it because they really mean it. But at the end of the day, you're saying it because it's in your head to say. Half the time, you don't even need to know people's names. You're just calling them that, right? And a lot of times you're addressing somebody you don't know, and you may not feel fondly about them as that. So a lot of that comes from self-hatred, self-inflicted brainwashing that's carried on for centuries. And now we're saying it without even a second thought. But the caveat is now the white kids are saying it too. So a word meant to describe us in the most derogatory form, they're using it as a greeting because we made it cool. Everything we do is cool. So you're getting to the point where, yes, people say it. That's not of our Asian people say it. I've been around groups of Middle Eastern people who run it like it's not going out of style. They said it more than I've ever said it. They say it more than a group of us. Me and my boys will get together, and Middle Eastern kids will say it to each other, and white kids will say it to each other more times than we say it amongst our own self. It's just a fact. I've been on all sides of the bubble. I've been in groups where it's a mixed company, and they're saying it to each other. So it's not a thing where no one can say it, right? The only people that say that are the people who are sitting in a bubble somewhere that don't have really any friends of any color, any nationality, or they don't really be around people who use it in a positive way. So they look at it as this negative word all day, and so therefore they still start, oh, why can't anyone else say it? That's what you get when they're out of touch with society, because people say it every day. People say it all, not just black people. So the only people saying that are people like Joe Rogan, these frat boys who don't get it, or they want to say it all day, but they feel like they can't. The rap songs are cool, and they got to keep bleeping out that word, and they start thinking like, why am I bleeping it out? So at the end of the day, Joe Rogan's apology was kind of like a mixed bag. Yes, he said it. Yes, we appreciate him saying it. And no, he will not lose his deal. Spotify makes way too much money. They've already deleted 100 of his, I don't know if he deleted it or they deleted it, but 100 of his podcasts are gone. the controversial podcast. And I guess it's someone with the N-word, someone with the COVID stuff. But end of the day, I think he will go on. This will blow over. Now they're coming out to Howard Stern. Now they want to get him now. So it's all over the place, and they don't know, they don't know where they're going to go with this stuff. But they only coming out to Howard Stern because the people on the right who are pro Joe Rogan are now looking for anybody on the left. And of course, Howard Stern is easy. That's low-hanging fruit. Like, we've been over Howard Stern. Nobody's going to boycott Howard Stern. Black people don't even know who he is half the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, they're trying to go and stir up this pot with Howard Stern and deflect from Joe Rogan. But Joe Rogan not going to get deflected from. I didn't even see Howard trending today. So they tried it yesterday and it didn't work. So we'll see what happens. And we all know Howard Stern does what Howard Stern does. Who cares? I still listen to Howard Stern to this day. It's whatever, right? And this is the thing what they don't understand. It's not about a white guy saying the N-word, right? It's not about that. It's about, do we care, right? And right now, people seem to care. It's just that simple. Right now, people seem to care, and they're caring about it because it's Joe Rogan. He's the #1 podcaster, and when you on top, especially when you stir up this much nonsense about COVID and this and that, they're coming. And now it's his turn to deflect, just like they came at PewDiePie and all these other people. They're coming for you. You're going to have to weather it or quit. It's up to you. But he ain't going to quit. He's going to weather it. He'll be fine. But the apology to me, it was a few dog whistles in there. A few dog whistles, in my opinion. There were a few things in there that he wanted to kind of trigger people with. And it's going to work. But at the end of the day, I don't think people are going to forget it. And I don't think he's going to get pulled off the air either. So we'll see. He is in hot water. There's going to be a problem over there. They're going to have a lot of closed-door meetings about what to do next, and they're going to be on him. They're going to start, like, censoring some of his stuff, and he's going to have to start getting some balance on. He probably get Dr. Fauci on there or somebody and start balancing it out. He probably get some black people on there to counter this N-word thing, just like Bill Maher did when he was in trouble with it, and just like who else was in trouble with it? When Nick Cannon got in trouble with what he said, he still sat down. So you're going to sit down. They're going to sit down with people. They're going to make a little noise. He's going to do a tour, apology tour, and they'll be fine. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, the apology was kind of, it was kind of 50-50. It kind of blew some whistles, a couple whistles to a couple people listening, like, oh, but wait, just FYI, they took a bunch of stuff out of context, and they kind of like shuffled my words around and made it whatever. But at the end of the day, he did own it. He didn't duck anything. He addressed the Planet of the Apes thing. He addressed the 27 mentions of the N-word. He addressed the video and said it was disgusting. And he said it looks bad. He got it. He said it in a way that he saved face. Let's put it like that. He said it in a way that he could say to black people, I'm sorry. And he said it in a way to the white people could say, well, it was out of context and, they're making it more than it is. Just pay attention. Just pay attention. I got to apologize because I got to, but this wasn't what it was. And that's why I have so many defenders. But you tell me what you think. Go in the comments. Let me know what you think about Joe Rogan's apology going forward. Will you still support Spotify? Because that's the other thing. A lot of people are like, oh, you still support Spotify even though they got Rogan on there. Oh, you still support Spotify even though R. Kelly's on there. Oh, so it's like a whole thing. So let me know what you think. Should we still support Spotify? I don't make moves based on one person on here, and it's so many people. You would have to shut the whole thing down to get it to be pure lily white. And on that note, I'm out. My name is Chuck Wick Ills, Charles Brown. Hit the like button, subscribe button, CLBMG.com. Go listen to Force Multipliers by Challz and the Ugly Professor. I guarantee you'll like it. Unless you're in the shiny suit music, then you're going to hate it. My name is Challz. Follow me on social media. I'm going to catch y'all on that flip side. Peace.